told you, mate. Listen. I've got somewhere to go.
I've been buying your drinks all bloody night.
Hands
Come on. Come on.
Hey! Hey! What are you doing? Are you all right? Fine.
Who was that? You don't have to let him treat you like that.
I'm fine.
You sure?
Look, I'm okay, all right?
Yes, Mrs. Harrigan. Well, we'll send someone out as soon as we can. There's that. All right, good day, bye-bye.
I went last time.
What is it, the pub again?
Yes, it's the pub again. There's a plenty drunk in the backyard again.
Why do they always pick the Harrigan place?
Because they're drawn to it by an unconscious urge to make our lives a misery, Adam.
Well, you can go, Margaret. It's your turn.
The boss goes and made of Harrigan's.
Yeah, and he's the sergeant, so his mate deserves a kid glove treatment, doesn't he?
The rubber glove treatment, mate.
Who are we running down now?
Clyde Harrigan. There's a drunk in the backyard.
I was sleeping it off, that's all. I'll go and sort him out. I'll see you later.
What are you grinning at, Cooper? You can go with her.
Wakey, wakey. Certainly no way for a lady to behave. Hello?
Well, as I told you, I came out to hang the washing and there was this person.
You didn't touch the body, did you?
No, of course I didn't. I mean, it's happened before. Well, not that, but, you know, drunks in the garden. The hotel's so close they just wander in, it's disgusting.
When you saw the body...
When I saw what I saw, I just thought, not again. And well, I came straight inside and rang the police. I was very upset. My husband wasn't home and I didn't know...
Harrigan, I'm Senior Detective Hasham. This is Senior Constable
Yes,
Schultz.
I've met Constable Schultz before.
All right, you need to stay inside the house, please. Excuse me.
Looks like she's cracked her skull on the bluestone edging.
Very good, Cooper.
There's been some sort of struggle. The contents of the handbag are all over this section of the garden.
Thank you, Detective Doyle. You've fallen over. I was pushed.
No, she's not a local, is she?
PJ.
Nick, can you call homicide and the crime scene boys, please?
Yeah, right out.
So.
Oh, BJ.
Oh, Mrs. Harrigan, I'm sorry, can't come
I just came out to ask if you could please remove that now. My husband will be home soon.
I'm afraid everything has to stay where it is for now. PJ.
How are you?
Jeff Wiley. She gone or what?
Oh, honestly.
Mrs. Harrigan, I'm going to need you to go down the station and make a statement.
My husband will be home soon.
Yeah. Clyde will be wanting his brekkie, eh?
I'll tell your husband where you are.
This is really very awkward.
There's a car at the front for you, Mrs. Harrigan.
Just get my handbag.
PJ, I've been trying to tell you I have seen this woman before.
No, she's a bloody pain in the ass.
No, not Angela Harrigan, PJ, the dead woman. I have seen her before.
Well, regional crime scene's going to be there in about 15 minutes, so Maggie should be back a little bit after that.
Fabulous. We're up to our necks as it is.
Well, I've just got to go get Mrs. Harrigan's statement, then I'll come back and get stuck into some of this stuff for you.
Clyde's still in Melbourne, is he?
Well, she reckons he's going to be back any minute.
Nice homecoming. He'll be in here frothing at the mouth.
He's a mate of yours, isn't he?
Yeah, not particularly. I know him from Rotary.
Oh. Well, it's not our fault there's a body in his backyard.
No, it's not going to stop him coming in here and cutting up rough, though.
I didn't see or hear anything last night. I came home from my meeting.
What meeting was that?
The CWA to discuss the competition. The regional cake decorating competition.
Oh, right, the old cake competition. What, you came home at...
At about 10:15, I put the car away and went inside.
And what door did you use?
The front door. My husband has to spend 2 nights a week in Melbourne, and I always bolt the back door. You can never be too sure.
No, no. You don't have any children, do you?
No.
No. So you came home and...
I went to bed.
And you didn't hear anything unusual?
No, not until this morning when I went outside and saw this person lying in the backyard.
Okay.
How long do you think she'd been there?
Oh, it's a bit too soon for us to say. Mrs. Harrigan, you'll have to wait for the pathologist's report.
Not very nice. Don't know what my husband's going to say.
Adam, thanks, boys. Get a shot of this, please. Well, it's a pity you didn't get a better look at the guy.
Well, it was pretty dark and he took off when I yelled.
All right, so what? He was short, bulky, he's wearing a light-coloured jacket.
Yeah, that's right.
Get a voice?
Yeah, it was deepish. It sounded like he had a few. That's it. Damn it, that's it. That's what he said. He said something about buying drinks.
Yeah, they were here. She booked in for last night. Debbie... someone or other, Debbie Listwin from Melbourne.
Yeah? What about the bloke?
Dave Thorne, farmer from out Stony Creek way.
So what, they were drinking together all night, were they?
Oh, he was chatting her up, you know, he was paying all night. Listen, I have to open up in a few minutes.
Oh, that's okay, Chris, we've nearly finished. Listen, do you remember what time they left?
Oh, about 20 past 10. She hadn't come back by the time I was locking up. Figured David got lucky for once.
Hello, Mount Thomas Police, Constable Cooper speaking.
Oh, easy, happy.
Angela, you all right, darling?
Hello, Mr. Hadlow.
This is absolutely ridiculous. I got home and nearly had a heart attack.
Yeah, and
Police
I told you
crawling
to
all
get
over the
someone out
place.
there
I
as
thought
soon as
something
we
had happened
could.
to my wife. I couldn't even get into my own home.
Eh? Well, a woman was found dead in your property there, sir, so while you're here, I might just grab you and you can come down to my desk and make your statement.
Yes, thank you.
There's not a lot we can do on the basis of a rumour, though, is there? Well, we're a bit pressed at the moment. I know Constable Cooper... Yes, well, he had to secure a crime scene and... Look, Neil, could you just hold on for a moment, please? What is it, Cooper?
PJ and Maggie are on their way to Stony Creek to interview a suspect about the murder. Dave Thorne.
What? Look, Neil, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to go. Yes, somebody will be there, definitely. As soon as we can. Yes, all right, thank you. Yeah, thank you, bye.
And Clyde Harrigan's here, wants to speak to you.
So I gather. Dave Thorne, eh? All right, get PJ on the radio for me, will you? I need to talk to him. And find out when the Harrigans can get back into their house. Oh, and would you get over to the high school as soon as you can? That was Neil Hadlow.
Neil Hadlow.
Yeah, the new principal.
Yeah, I know he is. I just spoke
He's
to him.
complaining that we're dragging the chain.
Yeah, and I told him we'd go as soon as someone was free.
Make yourself free. Don't want to get him on the wrong side, not when it's only just started.
Boss, it's nothing. It's a rumour about some kids looking at dirty pictures.
Cooper, it's minors in possession of pornographic material. No, radio, please.
Is Sergeant Croydon coming?
Yes, Mr. Harrigan. 1 minute.
The murder, it's most unpleasant, Tom.
Yes, I'm sure the victim felt the same way.
My house is roped off like a disaster area.
When homicide get here from Melbourne, things will move a lot faster, I can promise you.
And I have a cake to finish.
Aren't your people off interviewing a suspect now?
I don't know what you're on about. I had a few drinks and then I come home.
Who are you drinking with, Mr. Thorne?
A few blokes, me mates, you know.
Well, we heard you with a woman.
Oh, yeah. I was talking to some Sheila for a while. No law against that, is there?
You left together, didn't you?
So what?
Last night you had an argument with her. What was that about?
An argument. That was you. The jogger who yelled.
That's right.
Well, why didn't you say so straight off? What, are you trying to trap me or something?
Nick. Excuse me. Yep.
Cooper, check the Harrigan house.
Yes, they're all finished inside. They're all clear. Now, you're Mrs.
Why don't you go down? You can go into the house now.
When can I use the clothesline?
Not for a while, I'm afraid.
I had no idea things were this bad. I'm going to raise the matter in council.
Oh, I wish you would.
Yeah.
Okay, look, so I tried it on, but I never hit her on nothing. And if she says I did, then she's a bloody liar.
Is that right?
Bloody oath. Will she attack me if it comes to that? Well, you saw it.
I didn't see her scratch you.
Yeah, well, she bloody did. Then or later. There wasn't any later, mate. I never saw the slag again. I never want to. Spent a bloody fortune on her and she wouldn't come across. Bloody mole. Look, there are other people around too, and another bloke walking. What are you asking me all this for anyway? Has she complained about me or what?
She can't, Mr. Thorne. She's dead. See, I reckon you went back after Constable Doyle left last night to finish what you started.
No, I didn't.
Now, you listen to me. You've already been up on assault charge, haven't you, Mr.
No, look, I never... Broken my leg. Right.
The ambulance is on its way.
Oh, bloody hell.
Don't worry, you'll live. Hit the girl last night, didn't?
I never touched her. I come straight home. Huh? You saw me. I never went back. I never touched her.
Just save it, eh?
Look, I'd have to be a bloody fool to kill her.
Had some excitement, eh, Ian?
Yeah.
Well, seems like you might have done our job for us. Good work. We'll see if it pans out. You witnessed a fight between the offender and the deceased last night, Maggie.
I saw an argument, yes.
Oh, shame you didn't snaffle him
There
then.
was no reason to, I believe.
I'll
at
need
the
a
fight was-
statement. Get onto it now, will you? My blokes are at the house. I'll take a look and then head for the hospital.
Well, I'd like Cooper back as soon as possible. We're flat out here.
I'll do what I can. Constable Doyle can take care of the lost handbags and chicken thieves in Cooper's absence. I'm sure she's more than capable.
That guy's so far up himself, only his toes are showing.
Makes you wish we hadn't given him a walk-up start, doesn't it?
High school rang again. Doyle, you might want to deal with it if you can tear yourself away from homicide.
How's it going?
Yep, I finished, I guess.
What? Well, you don't sound joyous.
No, PJ, I don't think that Dave Thorne did it.
Oh, here we go,
No,
Maggie.
it is what he said. He's right. He'd been seen. He would have been stupid to go back and kill that woman.
Maggie, he is stupid.
And I did pass someone else in the street.
Mm-hmm.
And it was the way that Dave Thorne looked, like a big dumb dog caught in a trap.
Yeah, because he's probably guilty.
He ran because he panicked.
Look, I wouldn't have thought you'd have time with someone like Thorne.
I don't. I think he's an aggressive pig.
You think he's a truthful, aggressive pig?
Yes.
Leave it at Lazar's crew.
Stan Lazar reckons he's got enough to charge Thorne.
That's quick. Not sure of his ground, is he?
Well, they're working on it. Anyway, he said to convey his thanks to you and Doyle, of course.
So kind of him.
He's not wasting any time, is he?
Probably wants to be home for dinner.
PJ, he doesn't have any hard evidence.
Well, looks like he's getting it. Look, don't worry. Leave it to Lazar. Sounds like a good name for a show.
PJ, if Dave Thorne chased Debbie Liswan into the Harrigan's backyard, surely she would have screamed or something. So why didn't anybody hear anything? Angela Harrigan was home by then, there was a guy out on the street, and there was someone home next door. I heard the music.
The music would have drowned out any
No,
screaming.
no, but not for Angela Harrigan. It
You're
would not.
trying too hard, Detective Doyle.
PJ, writing this thing, it made me remember how I felt last night. Thorne had given up on Debbie Liswan, otherwise I just would not have left.
Well, that's the point, isn't it, eh, Maggie? You don't want Thorne to be guilty.
Don't be ridiculous.
No, Lazar's got to you. Feel guilty because you left the scene, because the woman's dead. Look, if you've got a problem with this, just go and have a chat to Angela Harrigan.
Why? Why should she do that? She's told us all she knows. She doesn't know anything.
No harm in asking her again.
Just a few more questions, Mrs. Harrigan.
This really is not convenient. I have to finish this.
It's delicate work, isn't it?
Yes.
Didn't I see your photo in a magazine? Something about state championship.
I don't want to seem rude, Constable Doyle, but really there is absolutely nothing more I can tell you people.
It just seems strange that you didn't hear anything, that's all.
Well, I didn't. Except for the usual bellowing music from next door, that awful wily boy. It's as bad as his father. Anyway, that is all I heard. I got changed, took a sleeping pill and went to bed.
You didn't mention before that you took a sleeping pill, Mrs. Harrigan. Could I see the bottle, please?
My doctor prescribed them for me. They are perfectly all right.
Yes, I'm sure that they are. It's just routine, really.
This is pointless. As my husband said, there is no great mystery about a woman like that being killed, is there?
And how does Mr. Harrigan know what sort of a woman Debbie Listwan was?
Clyde says from what he heard at the office this morning, you could pick her a mile off. Now, I'd like you to go now, if you don't mind.
If I could just see the bottle, please, Mrs. Harrigan. Oh, I see.
Thanks, Jeff.
Cheers.
Hello.
Hello.
How'd you go?
Angela Harrigan took a sleeping tablet. End of story. Now, what are you doing here?
Well, I thought about what you said about the noise, and I had a chat to Wiley. He was working last night, got home about 10:30. Heard nothing from the Harrigans.
And what about the son?
16, his name's Brendan, had the music on full blast. Heard nothing.
No, Angela Harrigan doesn't like the Wileys, to put it mildly.
Yeah, well, the feeling's mutual. Look, he seems like a nice bloke.
Maybe we should have a chat to the Wiley boy. What's his name? Brendan?
No, Lazar's already pulled him out of school this morning. Look, let's just forget about it, okay? We're wasting...
One more thing.
Yes?
Angela Harrigan said something that I want to check up on.
You never give up, do you, Sherlock? I like that.
She turned up around 4, I'd say. She could have come in on the 3:40, had one bag, your mate Lazar's got that, and said she was on holidays.
What was she like?
Well, she looked to me like she was on the game, and it wasn't just the hair and the clothes, she just had that look about her, you know?
Yeah, you know, Clyde Harrigan heard the same thing at work, according to his wife.
Yeah, I wondered about her. I thought she might be going to set up shop upstairs, you know? Now the poor woman's dead. And has Dave Thorne really been arrested?
Yeah. Well, that surprised you.
Hey, Chris, did you get the feeling that they'd met before at all?
No, not at all. She came downstairs about 5 o'clock and sat in the corner over there. Got a few stares that she avoided looking like that, and Dave came in around 6:30. Took one look at her and hurried right in, you know. The tardier the better as far as he's concerned. Not that he ever has much luck. Got about as much style as the dummy do.
And Debbie let him sit with her all night.
Yeah, I wondered about that too. You'd have thought she'd have other fish to fry, no?
So she didn't talk to anybody else?
Not that I noticed.
Well, did you notice anything else about her, Chrissy?
Well, earlier she told me that she'd given up smoking, but around 7 she came to the cigarette machine to get some change, and I'd swear every half hour she went to the ladies.
It's a bit odd, isn't it?
Yeah, at first I thought it was drugs or something, you know, and then I thought, no, she's just trying to put Dave off. That's about all I can tell you, really.
No, that's great. You've been a great help. Thanks, Chris. A woman like Debbie Listwan wouldn't come to Mount Thomas for a holiday. It's much more likely she came here for a specific reason, maybe to see someone.
Yeah, not Dave Thorne by the sound of it.
Yeah, so why spend all night talking to him? It doesn't make sense. What about the phone? The phone's out that way. What if she was trying to call someone?
Well, someone who wasn't at home.
So she keeps trying, and about 10:15 she finally gets through.
You know that statement for me, Maggie?
Yes.
How's it going?
No problems. Deceased to known prostitute, 2 priors for drugs. Thank you. Better late than never. I'll go to Melbourne for autopsy. You can have Constable Cooper back. I've left one of my blokes with Thorne.
Thank you.
I've just talked to Angela. Are you aware that one of your constables has been back at the house upsetting her again?
Constable Doyle, sir, was just checking out a couple of things.
What for? You've got your man, haven't you? What's the point?
Might ask the same question. Sergeant Croydon, can I speak to you in your office, please?
You will have to excuse me for a moment, Clive.
I'm not moving from the spot until I've got some answers and some assurances from you.
Doyle takes her work very seriously. She's got a problem with the arrest of Dave Thorne. She thinks he's
Not her
innocent.
business to think. Any concern she has, she reports to me. She doesn't go running around trampling on our turf. I thought you were supposed to be understaffed.
We are.
Well, it doesn't look like it.
Do you believe in coincidences?
What do you mean?
Debbie Listwan gets through at 10:15. Angela Harrigan got home at around 10:15.
I don't think that it's very likely that Debbie came to see Angela Harrigan.
No, but maybe she wanted to see her friend in person.
Clyde Harrigan.
Well, he goes to Melbourne every week. Debbie's from Melbourne.
So you reckon that Clyde Harrigan might be a client of Debbie's?
Could be.
But why would she come here? Why now?
The boss wants you guys in his office, and I'd hurry. Looks like Lazar really chewed his ear.
Lazar's still with him?
No, he's gone out to the scene. The pathologist called. Debbie Liswan died where she was found between 10:30 and midnight. She cracked her skull on the bluestone.
Hmm. That it?
No. She was pregnant.
Blackmail? That's ridiculous. Are you trying to tell me that woman would blackmail Dave Thorne? I mean, he wouldn't care who he got pregnant, and he hasn't got any dough.
No, not Dave Thorne. Somebody who would care and somebody who has got dough. Like Clyde Harrigan.
Oh, that is ridiculous.
Boss, it fits.
No, it doesn't. I know Clyde, and he wouldn't be involved with a woman like that. And he certainly wouldn't kill anybody, if that's what you're saying. And he wasn't even home at 10:30 last night.
Debbie Liswan knows his car. She would have waited for him to show.
And she wouldn't want to front his wife. That would have ruined everything.
Lazar's right. You've gone right off the rails, both of you. Debbie Listwan died last night. Clyde was still in Melbourne till early this morning.
Oh, he says he was. But Homicide haven't checked it out yet, right? Now, Lazar's too happy with Dave Thorne.
Right, Lazar's on his way back to Melbourne. Let's call him. What is it?
It's your mate Harrigan. He's out there. He's not going to go away till he sees you.
All right, we'll check it out ourselves. Doyle, you come with me.
Tom, I need to speak to you. Why is my wife being harassed?
We just need to tie up a few loose ends, Clyde. Now, why don't you come in and sit down, Cooper?
Yeah,
please, right here. Give your statement to Constable Doyle.
I already gave a statement to that Lazar character.
We just need to clarify a few things, sir. All right, would you mind telling me your movements last night, please, Mr. Harrigan?
Again, this is absurd.
I'm sorry, sir. I'm going to need an answer.
I stayed at my usual hotel.
Which hotel would that be, please?
The Carlton Crest in Albert Park.
Is there a number on you, sir? If you don't, we can look it up.
Yeah, Clyde Harrigan. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he'd be one of your regulars. Yeah, sure, I'll hold.
I arrived at 7 the night before last.
Where are you going?
This morning.
To high school. No, you're not. Neil Hadlow's waited long enough. I can wait another hour. Go and get the lunches before we all starve to death.
Boss. I'll get that printed up and I'll make a signature on the statement, thanks.
I've got to get back to the office. I'll come back and sign it later.
Yeah, Clyde, I'm afraid we're going to have to keep you for a while longer. According to the hotel, you didn't stay there last night. You checked out yesterday morning.
Tom, could I speak to you in private?
Come into my office, you too, PJ.
Where I was last night has nothing to do with this.
Well, perhaps it doesn't, Clyde. That's what we're trying to find out.
Tom, we've known each other for years.
Sorry.
All right, I'll tell you the truth. It's very embarrassing, but there you are. I stayed at my sister's last night.
Your sister's?
Yes, I usually stay with her one night a week.
So why did you say you were staying at the hotel?
Well, I tell the firm I stay at a hotel. The expenses.
Right, so you claim the hotel as expenses and stay at your sister's. That it?
Well, that's one way of putting it. There's no real harm in it.
Does your wife know about this?
No. Angela's a very moral sort of person. She doesn't understand business. I didn't want to worry her. There was no reason for her to find out. She calls me on my mobile if she needs me.
We're going to need your sister's name, address and phone number, please, Mr. Harrigan.
You don't have to drag her into this, do you? There's no reason for anyone to find out about this, is there?
Harriet, you're well aware of what information we can and can't give out about a homicide.
Is Adam around?
No.
You want to deal with this, please, when you got a bit of time?
Maggie? Mr. Harrigan's going to make a new statement.
Right.
It's been a bit of a misunderstanding.
Yep.
Yeah, bit of a nuisance sometimes, these things. Could I have a glass of water, please?
Right.
Nick. Lunches?
You know, beauty about that too. What have you got for me there?
Ham and cheese.
Well done,
Passiona. Where's the Passiona? No, I got him a fancy.
Just need to go to the toilet. Sorry.
Thank you.
Nick, can you take Mr. Harrigan
Thanks,
out to the
mate.
loo,
Beautiful.
please?
That'll be a pleasure.
We're right out of line on this.
Oh, come off it. He did lie. How do we know he hasn't lied again?
Engaged.
Boss, Adam's back. Do you want your lunch in here?
Aren't you supposed to be taking a statement, Doyle?
He's gone out to the loo.
Yeah, it's ringing. Yeah, hello, yes, this is Sergeant Tom Croydon at Mount Thomas Police.
Yes, Miss Trebek. Yeah, OK, I'll be right there.
He said he stayed at his sister's. He's fiddling the hotel expense account.
So you really think he's involved then?
Yeah, bloody oath. I think he's hiding something.
All right, Clyde's sister confirms his story. He stayed there last night, left early this morning. Now, would you please get off this before Lazar has us all for breakfast? You too, Doyle.
Mrs. Harrigan, this is Senior Detective Hasham from Mount Thomas CIB. How are you?
Yeah, there's just something I need to check. Give me the phone number for Sharon Sykes. It's Mr. Harrigan's sister. Oh, right. Okay, well, I'm sorry to have troubled you.
I stayed with Sharon overnight. Everything I told you was true, except she's not my sister, she's a friend.
A friend?
Yes.
A friend you stay with overnight?
Yes, I stay with her every week. We have an arrangement.
She said she was your sister.
I rang her from the toilet, got on her before you did. You can understand. I had to keep it quiet. Man in my position.
Keeping a mistress?
She's not a mistress. It's not like that. It's a financial agreement, that's all. She doesn't even know my real name. Well, she didn't until today. Tom, I love my wife.
You don't have to explain.
I do. You don't understand how it is. When I lost my first wife, I thought I'd never marry again. I was a mess, you remember? Then I met Angela. Working in a coffee shop near the office in Melbourne. She liked going out with me. When she said she'd marry me, I couldn't believe my luck. And it was the best thing I ever did, Tom. Angela's a wonderful wife. She's loving, looks after me, keeps the house beautifully. Thing is, she's not much of a one for the physical side of things. I don't like to trouble her much, so I made this arrangement. I thought, as long as Angela doesn't know...
How did you meet this Sharon Sykes?
I answered an ad.
What? Sharon, young, sexy, discreet, offers exotic fun to generous businessmen, something like that?
Something like that?
Did you ever mention somebody called Debbie Listman?
No.
Did you ever see anybody coming in or out of the house?
No. Sharon lives in the suburbs. I'd go late at night, leave early in the morning. She's a very discreet girl.
Homicide will be talking to her, sir. Nick!
No, that won't be necessary.
Do me a favour, mate. You give Angela Harrigan a call and ask if she received any phone calls last night, now, even if the caller hung up.
Yeah, all right.
Oh, yeah, you do me a favour, mate. Next time the suspect goes to the toilet, will you go with him?
I did. Well, I'm not going to go in there and eat me sandwich while he's doing his business.
PJ, what's going on in
The
there?
boss is handling it beautifully.
This way, Mr. Trebek.
I appreciate this, Tom.
I'm not doing you any favours, Clyde. Homicide will be in touch. Then there's the small matter of attempting to pervert the course of justice.
So we're going to come out, isn't it?
I'd tell your wife if I were you.
Yeah, leave it with us, Mr.
On
Trebek.
the side, who's going to have a chat to Sharon Sykes? Lazar will probably call you.
Clyde Harrigan. Last person I would have expected to be involved with a prostitute.
Well, it makes you wonder what else he's been up to, eh?
If you mean murder, PJ, no,
I
he
know,
doesn't. And just leave it.
Mr. Trebek, how are you?
Yes. So what was Lynn Trebek doing here?
Want to see a dirty picture?
Oh, I do.
Dirty photocopy, actually. It's only half there, but still.
That was in the public library, was it?
Yeah, thrown away in a bin next to one of the photocopiers.
Oh?
The image is pretty unclear. Must have been a paper jam or something. But you can only see one person.
Well, one's enough, isn't it?
Two would be more interesting.
Yeah.
These would be the dirty photos that Neil Hadlow was talking about.
Yeah, I'd say so. Mr. Trebek said she saw a kid doing heaps of copies at lunchtime. He was acting a bit sus. He was there for about half an hour, and after he left, she found this. She's concerned he's trying to sell the copies.
Well, did she give you a description of this kid?
She knew him, actually.
Come on, Cooper, who was it?
Brendan Wiley?
Brendan Wiley. Jeff Wiley's son?
Yeah, the Harrigan's next-door neighbour. Bit of a coincidence, huh?
We've stopped believing in coincidences, Adam. PJ,
What is it?
this woman. She's younger and it's hard to tell in that get-up, but I would swear that is Debbie List one.
Yes, So what are we supposed to do? Just ignore new evidence? Yes, I'm sure you... Enjoy your drive.
Maggie's on her way in with Brendan Wiley. Be here in about 5 minutes.
What about his father?
On his way.
So's Lazar. And he's not a happy man.
Well, the blackmail theory's looking good. Debbie Listwan brought those pictures in to scare someone.
Yes, looks like it.
So once we have a look at the originals, we'll know exactly who that is, won't we?
You still think it's Clyde Harrigan, don't you? Better keep an open mind on this, PJ. He's got an alibi for last night.
Yeah, if it sticks, once his girlfriend finds out there's a murder involved. Look, even crows have their limits, you know.
Clyde wasn't involved with Debbie Listwan.
He says he wasn't. Look, he's lied his head off up until now, boss, for God's sake. Now, who knows what he's been up to in Melbourne? Look, why are you fighting me on this?
I'm not fighting you. I'm trying to stop you from getting up Stan Lazar's nose. Look, you think I've gone soft on Clyde. Well, I think you're letting the fact that you dislike him affect your judgment.
Get out of it, I wouldn't do that.
Wouldn't you? I think you would. You're not watching the loose end.
What loose end?
If your theory holds water, for example, then it would have been the Harrigan household that Debbie Listwan called from the pub last night. Have you bothered to check whether Angela Harrigan took a call?
Well, Nick's checking that out for me.
And?
I haven't got back to him.
Loose ends. I rest my case.
Sweet. Harrigan's wife said she didn't get any calls after she went home last night.
Well, did she sound like she was telling the truth?
Well, she didn't sound too good. Harrigan answered the phone and he sounded a bit upset, so I think what happened was he went home and he told her about his bit of scruff down in Melbourne.
Well, we should have got to it before he did, eh?
Yeah, we all run on the case, aren't you?
So do you think that she's lying about the phone call to protect him, or what?
Could be.
Brendan's here.
You two been demoted, have you? Bit of a come down from murder to dirty pictures behind the bike sheds.
Well, distribution of pornographic material is an offence, you know, Mr. Wiley.
Oh, it's all part of growing up, this stuff.
Yeah, you reckon? Take a squeeze.
Brent, how did you,
I don't know anything about this. Look, so I went to the library at lunchtime to photocopy some history notes. We're allowed.
Well, why didn't you use one of the school machines?
There were too many people waiting.
Brendan, you were seen photocopying pornography.
Oh, if that old hag at the library says she saw me copying porn, she's a liar.
Put a sock in it, mate. I'll handle this.
No, Mr. Wiley, I think Brendan can handle this. The original photographs, Brendan.
Told you I don't know anything about this.
If he doesn't know, he doesn't.
Constable Doyle, will you get Mr. Beck back here, please?
All right.
You don't have to say anything,
Mr.
Brent.
Wiley.
You're not going to bully my kid.
I'm not bullying him, OK? I'm just trying to get the truth out of him. Now, any more interference out of you and you're out.
I'm going anyway.
Dad,
Sit
no.
down.
Look, it's all right. Sit down, all right? OK, I did have some photographs.
All right, how many?
Only 2. Thought I'd make a few copies for my mates. That's all.
Where do the photos come from?
I found them in the gutter outside our house this morning.
Where are they now?
You wouldn't have kept them, would you,
Mr.
mate?
Wiley?
No, I don't have them anymore. I burnt them.
Right, interview suspended at 5:12 p.m. for discussion. Mr. Wiley, righto, you out.
Kids are minor, you can't.
Just get out, will you?
Dad?
All right. All right, sorry, OK?
Interview recommenced at 5:13 p.m. with Brendan Wiley. All right, Brendan, the original photographs.
Told you I burnt them. And I burnt all the copies too on the way back to school.
Why?
Decided it was too risky to give them out. I shouldn't have copied them in the first place. It was a mistake.
A mistake. Well, you realise that all this has got a bearing on a murder inquiry, don't you, mate? Do you realise that, eh? Have a look in this bag. Now, this is what we're going to do, Brendan. We're going to go through your locker.
Oh, you can do what you like. You won't find anything. Because there isn't anything to find.
Well, at least you got out of a bit of school, mate.
Yeah, they were maths and science.
Not a complete loss. I'll be with you in a sec. Listen, have a word?
Yeah.
Sorry about all that in there. It's just, you know, the kid's a good kid, you know, and I'm all he's got.
You were late leaving the library, weren't you, Brendan? Did you get back to school on time, or did you get into trouble?
No, just made it.
Straight back into double maths, huh?
Yeah.
Give the kid a break, wouldn't you? He made it blue, but he got rid of the stuff, huh? No harm done.
Half an hour's photocopying. It's a lot of paper. I don't think that you had time to burn it or hand it out, which says to me that you still have the photocopies and the original photographs hidden somewhere. Brendan, a man has been arrested for murder. Now, he says that he didn't do it, and you know what? I believe him. Those photographs are the only hope that he's got. If you don't help, an innocent man may go to jail for the rest of his life. Some photographs fell out of Debbie Listwin's handbag when she was fighting with Dave Thorne. She picked the others up, but these two must have gone into the gutter. She missed them. Brendan Wiley found them on the way to school this morning. The other person in these photographs, with Debbie, it's a while ago, but it's you, isn't it? Yes.
Mr. Harrigan?
Mrs. Harrigan, are you sure you want to do it this way? You're going to have to say it all again sooner or later. Count on it.
I want Clyde to hear it from me. Once that's over, I won't mind so much. Everything I ever told you about my childhood, it was a lie. I wasn't happy, I wasn't loved. I ran away from home when I was 16.
Angela.
I went on the streets. I didn't have a house of my own like your lady friend. I just picked up men in cars. Later on, I got lucky. I met some people who paid me to pose for photographs. And that was how I met Debbie Listwin. We did a double act. We did some films as well. I ended up in jail for possession of heroin, although it wasn't mine, it was Debbie's. I never touched drugs. And it was while I was in jail that they discovered that I had chlamydia. And although they fixed it up, they said that I would never be able to have children. I didn't really mind then. Once I was released, I dropped out of the whole scene. I got a job in a coffee shop. That was when I met you. You were such a gentleman. You were such a gentle man. You never tried to maul me around. You treated me like a lady. And I thought, if he thinks I'm like that, then I can be like that. You married me, and for the last 7 years, it's been like all of that other was just a bad dream, and I'd finally woken up. As though Angel had never existed, only ever Angela. And then Debbie Listwin just turned up at the house last night.
Angel!
She must have seen my picture and the cake decorating story in the weekly. Tracked me down. She wanted money.
You go away. Look, Angel, I'm pregnant. I want to keep it. I need some cash. You sit here, just help me out. I've got a right to life too, haven't I?
I can't do anything. Just go away.
You owe me.
I don't owe you anything. And I don't have any money. I know what Clyde gives me.
Don't give me that crap.
Look, if you don't go, I'll call the police.
Fine. You do that. And I'll show them these.
It's like a nightmare. All I could think of was Clyde finding out. I couldn't bear it. It happened very quickly. And afterwards I just thought, well, I'll just pretend it didn't happen. I'm safe, no one will ever know. I burnt the pictures in the sink, took a sleeping pill, and I went to bed. I Clyde won't ever find out about me now. I thought we had such a perfect life. Such a perfect marriage. I thought you loved me so much. I never knew you were seeing other women.
I do love you. I love you, Angela. You should have told me. I would have understood. I'm the last person to...
It's ironic, isn't it? She thought that Clyde was Mr. Perfect, so she reinvents herself into Mrs. Perfect. She changes her hair, her clothes, her voice, even her ideas. And she lives it and she even believes in it. And in effect, she kills somebody to keep it. And then she finds out that Mr. Perfect's been seeing a prostitute for years.
Yes, well, at least he's sticking by her. Didn't expect that. No, Clyde's all right. Not Mr. Perfect, but he's all right.
She'll get manslaughter, won't she? I mean, it's not as if she meant to kill her. It was an accident.
I'll be up to the courts, eh?
Lazar's pretty jacked off that he got it wrong and we got it right.
Oh, my heart bleeds for him.
Prison van on the way?
Yeah, any minute.
Calling my boss. I want to talk to you.
Thank you, too.
Enough for a drink, Mags?
Yeah, sure.
An old saying. Old sins cast long shadows. Isn't that the truth, Doyle?